The ex-PM claimed Labour MPs deliberately wasted time to prevent a debate on her transgender reforms. Liz Truss accused Labour MPs of running down the clock to prevent her proposed trans law change from being debated in the Commons today. The former Prime Minister's draft legislation, which would ban transgender women from female-only spaces, prevent them from competing in women's sports and stop children attempting to change their sex, was third on the list to be discussed by MPs. But lengthy speeches in earlier debates meant there was no time left for Ms Truss' private member's bill. She said, "I'm furious that Labour MPs have filibustered in Parliament today to prevent debate of my private member's bill. Concerned parents will want to know why Labour don't even want to discuss how to protect children and single-sex spaces, let alone put those protections into law. Labour care more about ideology than the protection of children. It is vital that we legislate to safeguard single-sex spaces and prevent children from making irreversible decisions about their bodies. These policies have popular support, and legislation is required in this area because non-statutory guidance gives too much latitude to extremist ideologues determined to use any loopholes available to promote their dangerous agenda. I encourage the public to write to their MPs to back the bill so that we can build up pressure to get these much-needed proposals put onto the statute book." Equalities Minister Kemi Badenoch echoed Ms Truss' accusations against Labour MPs. She said, "Just now Labour MPs prevented debate on a new law to protect children and single-sex spaces. Instead they used parliamentary time to discuss ferret name choices. Keir Starmer is terrified of debate on safeguarding and his MPs actively work to ignore the concerns of constituents." There were reports that some Conservative MPs had been asked to prolong the earlier debates on animal welfare and procurement in an effort to talk out Ms Truss' bill, but this was denied by Tory backbencher Richard Fuller. Her bill will now reschedule to another day and fall to the bottom of the priority list, meaning it is almost certain not to become law. On Friday, Downing Street would not be drawn on whether the government would back Ms Truss' bill, saying only that it would be considered in the usual way by the House. The Prime Minister's official spokesman said, "But more broadly, we welcome the sentiment set out in the bill, not least because it is consistent with our own approach on the fundamental importance of biological sex and the right that women have to access dedicated single-sex spaces." It comes as the Daily Express is campaigning to protect hard-won women's rights. A Labour spokesperson said, "Tory support for this bill is further proof that weak Rishi Sunak is still dancing to Liz Truss's tune, while working people still pay the price for her economic recklessness."